My name is Seniesa Estrada. I'm from East Los Angeles, and I am an undefeated professional boxer. I started boxing at the age of 8, and what got me into it was my father. I used to watch boxing with him when I was a little girl. So from the age of like 5, 6 years old, I was watching boxing with him, and from the first moment that I saw it, it just intrigued me, and I knew that it was something that I wanted to do, and I just fell in love with it immediately. My dad was totally against me being a boxer. When I asked him if I can box, he said no, because boxing is for boys. So he didn't even let me play baseball. I wanted to play baseball when I was a kid, and he was against that too, because he said baseball was for boys. So he said, well, you can be a cheerleader, and I didn't want to be a cheerleader. I wanted to be a boxer. And then finally he took me to a gym, and I started there, and maybe about 2 weeks into training, he put me in the ring to spar with a boy because he wanted me to get beat up and start crying. So I got in the ring and I beat up the boy, and I made him cry. So the plan like totally backfired on my dad. And then after that, he just saw how much passion I had and how much potential that I had, and he just continued to support me from then on. When I first started boxing, my mom was totally against it, and she didn't like it, and she probably only went to about 15 of my amateur fights out of the 100 and something that I had. But now as a professional, she's been to every single one, and she won't miss it. For women's boxing is like very unpredictable, especially when I first started boxing. It wasn't very popular, so there wasn't that many women or girls fighting at the time. So I was kind of like alone in the sport, so you can say. Like, I didn't really know how far I would go because it wasn't very popular. It didn't have much exposure as it does today. So as a kid, all I had was just faith in myself, and I just had to believe that I can make a career out of it and that I can go as far as I would want to go. And now women's boxing, I've made a career out of it, and it's becoming bigger and bigger as time goes by. I think what makes me a good fighter is that I'm not just one-dimensional. I can fight in different ways, which makes it difficult for my opponents. I could fight on the inside, I could fight on the outside. I have good defense, can fight going to the side, I could fight left-handed. So I think all of that combined together just makes me a good fighter. Men react to it different ways. Some men will just never like it. They'll just never be entertained by it. But then you have the fans that you could just win over with your skills and your talent. And if you put on a good fight, they're gonna watch it and they're gonna want to see it again. Definitely the biggest obstacle was to just get the recognition and exposure from big promoters to sign women. Like Oscar De La Hoya once said he would never sign a female before, and so far he's signed 3 and I'm one of them. Just taking that big step into getting my foot in the door with the big promoter. Now, being a woman and fighting on TV, having the biggest promoter in boxing behind me was definitely like the biggest stepping stone for my career.